Welcome this week to the message from Burwood United Methodist Church. I'm Tim Wood. I'm the supply pastor of the church, which is a 200-year-old congregation located in Thompson Station, Tennessee. The sermon topic tonight is, let's talk about hate. These words from Paul's letter to the Romans are timeless, and it doesn't matter that they're written in a Christian context to a church. This advice, this message, is valuable to anyone, and it doesn't matter where it came from. We are in Romans 12, verses 9 to 19. Love should be shown without pretending. Hate evil and hold on to what is good. Love each other like the members of your family. Be the best at showing honor to each other. Don't hesitate to be enthusiastic. Be on fire in the Spirit as you serve the Lord. Be happy in your hope. Stand your ground when you're in trouble, and devote yourselves to prayer. Contribute to the needs of God's people and welcome strangers into your home. Bless people who harass you. Bless and don't curse them. Be happy with those who are happy and cry with those who are crying. Consider everyone as equal and don't think that you're better than anyone else. Instead, associate with people who have no status. Don't think that you're so smart. Don't pay back anyone for their evil actions with evil actions, but show respect for what everyone believes is good. If possible, to the best of your ability, live at peace with all people. Let's talk about hate. If you are expecting a message today that's all happy and good things and encouraging, well, there is a message of hope in this message. But to face the reality of the world that we as Christians live in, we've got to talk about hate and how it relates to our Christian lives. Now, Christians exist in a world that is not what God intended it to be. The world we live in is the sum of the decisions made by all of the billions of people who've inhabited the earth. Much of the conflict being reported today is over the color of a person's skin or their ethnicity. The world itself has changed, though. The word hate has changed. Hate can be a thing. Hate can be the act of disliking a person or thing. As an action word, it's always had an object. That is, a person would say they hate something. I hate green beans. Now, the something's gone. People just hate in general. They hate a particular category of people. The word hater is a relatively recent addition to the vocabulary. Hater describes the identity of anyone who openly and constantly hates some category of people. I grew up in a small rural town in southwest Missouri. We had about 10,000 people in the town. I never personally witnessed any direct act of overt racism against another person. There were some positive signs. For example, I went to a Southern Baptist church. And once a year, this Southern Baptist church, which was all white people, would have an exchange Sunday with a predominantly black church in the city. In the morning service on Sunday, they would be the guest of the Southern Baptist Church. The Southern Baptist Church would give its normal service with its preacher and music directors and all. And the preachers really were impressed by all the amens that they got, that they normally didn't get. The evening service was held at the Southern Baptist Church, but the members of the predominantly black church were in charge of the service. They did the music, they preached. And one of the coolest things about this was just the talking in the parking lot. Talking to people maybe you didn't know, you realize, hey, they're just like me. There's no difference. I came to Columbia because I was hired as the editor of the Columbia Daily Herald newspaper, and I was in that job for 3.5 years before I became a teacher. Not long after I started there, the lifestyles editor showed me a photograph that had been submitted to go along with an engagement announcement. The photo she showed me as an engagement announcement was a mixed-race couple. And I wasn't quite sure why she was asking me about that. She didn't ask me about the other engagement pictures. That should have been a warning. She did nothing wrong. She just wanted me to know that this was happening and that there may be some pushback, as we might say. Well, the picture ran, and at some point, a couple of men dropped by. They fancied themselves as community leaders. To what extent they were actually respected that way, I don't know. But their business was to complain to me about running a photograph of a mixed couple under the engagements. I was astonished. I mean, again, I'm not telling you I'm perfect about race relations, but I was astonished. How could they possibly be telling the editor of the newspaper that there was something wrong with the picture of a mixed couple who are getting engaged? Well, you could call me naive for moving to the South and not expecting that to happen, but you know, there's nothing naive in right or wrong. If standing up for the truth, standing up for God's way means I'm naive, then why? Let me be naive. I have felt kind of naive, though, in the context of what's going on in the whole country. I've seen the emergence of a hate and ugliness in this country that I didn't think was possible. The level of bigotry, prejudice, race that's been revealed in these past few years is terrifying. I never knew that was in this country, but as reality is, it is. We've got to live with that. And by the grace of God, we'll find some way to do something about it. So what as Christians should we do about this? How should we do it? Well, this is where Paul's letter comes into play. Let's go over the scripture passage today. Love should be shown without pretending. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty crass to make a person believe that they're loved when you don't really love them, because eventually they'll find out and it'll turn out bad for both of you. Love should be sincere, and honestly, if you don't actually love a person greatly, well, don't pretend to, but then work on making up the differences that cause you to not like this person. Hate evil and hold on to what is good. Boy, that sounds so simple. We know we should hate evil, obviously, but what about this holding on to the good? Do we give up too much on the good things we do? Do we do things that we believe are right, but when we don't see a result out of them, or if we get pushback, then we might not do them anymore? And so we're not holding on to the good. So identify the things that you are doing and that others are doing, and hold on to those things and use them to build off of. Love each other like members of your family. Be the best at showing honor to each other. Wow, love everyone like members of your family? You know, some families don't get along too well, you know? Well, that's the approach. You want to treat them like they are family. Be that nice, and boy, that is a tall order. Be the best at showing honor to each other. Paul's setting up a competition to be the best at showing honor to each other. Don't hesitate to be enthusiastic. Be on fire in the Spirit as you serve the Lord. Be happy in your hope. Stand your ground when you're in trouble, and devote yourselves to prayer. Be happy in your hope. That's the hope we know that in the end, God wins. All the trials and tribulations of this world will be gone. And as we struggle with this world, we enjoy the good things, we deal with the bad things. We do, as Christians, we have that hope based on our faith in God. Things are going to get better. So hang on to that hope. Thrive upon it. Stand your ground when you're in trouble. Okay. This is where we get into some dangerous territory. You could interpret this, or shall we say misinterpret it, as saying that you have a right to retaliate in a really nasty way against someone who hurts you. Well, first of all, I don't believe that being a Christian means you let people walk all over you. But your response needs to be within the rules and without hurting anybody, without breaking any ethics rules. You can respond, and if you use the right approach, you can get problems solved. And devote yourselves to prayer. Wow, can anyone spend enough time in prayer? I don't. Got to work on it, but you know, when you do, it's amazing what happens. Contribute to the needs of God's people and welcome strangers into your home. We could say that is contribute to the needs of all people, because aren't we all God's people? Welcome strangers into your home. I'm not telling you to let people you've never seen before in your life stay a night in your house. Now, some people may have no problem with that, but I'm not telling you to do that. But there's a broader way to look at this when we say, welcome strangers into your home. Welcome strangers into your world, be it at a workplace or a school, When someone new comes you don't know, welcome them in to your world, the office, or whatever you're doing. It's about being welcome. And God is very much big upon being welcoming. Bless people who harass you. Bless and don't curse them. Be happy with those who are happy, and cry with those who are crying. Consider everyone as equal, and don't think that you're better than anyone else. Oh boy. Is that really the basis for a lot of the hate? Consider everyone as equal, and don't think that you're better than anyone else. Instead, associate with people who have no status. Wow. Well, Jesus modeled that. He hung out with the prostitutes, the tax collectors, all the other folks that society didn't think of. So that's definitely from Jesus. And don't think that you're so smart. People try to project superiority over others by thinking that they're smart. That's a good way to get humiliated. Trust me. Don't pay back anyone for the evil actions with evil actions, but show respect for what everyone else believes is good. So don't pay back anyone. Don't use evil to retaliate. That just escalates everything and hurts everything. Show respect for what everyone else believes is good. Don't put down what others think is good just because they might have a little different background or different preference. So how do we tie this up? The response of the Christian to hate in the world is to do more good. Respond to evil with good. It can be even the smallest things that you do. Smallest acts of kindness. It's not impossible to change this world with the power of good. Amen.